it's just a stupid party, and I should just let it go and get over the fact that I can't be in her wedding party. I told him since it's just a stupid party I won't attend. It's on my mum's custody time, so I don't have to go anyway. He thinks I'm an arsehole for not supporting him. I agree. I understand that you're still a teenager, but 15 is old enough to kind of understand the emotional rights and wrongs and whatever. If it's just a stupid party, like you said, oh, it's just a stupid party, so I won't go. Well, if it's just a stupid party, then you won't mind that you aren't being a bridesmaid, just go as a guest. And Dad did the only thing that he could in that situation and offered to make her like a best woman or whatever. But she wasn't happy with that, and like, I understand you want to dress up and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's not your wedding, it's your dad's wedding and his partner's wedding, and ultimately it is up to them to decide what they want together. So I understand, like, it's not what you wanted, but it's not really about you. Just go to the party, support your dad, be there for him. I'm sure he would really love to have you there. It's crazy, in my opinion at least, to just refuse to go because you don't get your own way. Okay, the next one is by Glorious Name, and it's titled, Am I the A-hole for offering a frozen dinner to an uninvited guest at a dinner party? A couple times a year I like to throw a nice dinner party for old friends. This time I invited 5 people, 2 were couples and 1 was single. We've all known each other for around 15 years and get together maybe every 3 months. I was making filet mignon and a small lobster tail with 2 sides. I spent over $300 and didn't buy extra because they are served 1 each per guest and are expensive. As a surprise to me, the single guest brought along his new girlfriend who I had not met or known about. I was nice about it, but upset because I only purchased enough meat and lobster tail for the guests who were invited. I talked to the friend who brought the uninvited guest and said that I didn't have extra food and the filet mignon cooked to individual doneness and lobster tail isn't something that can be cut up and divided or spread out between more people. And I said that I had frozen pizza or another frozen dinner that I could eat up. He was very upset with me and accused me of not liking his new girlfriend and trying to embarrass them. After his outburst, they left. Was I wrong? Should I have cut up the extra fillet and lobster tails and spread it out between the extra person instead of offering a frozen meal? I didn't think of them splitting their plates at the time. I have ADHD, so I have some issues with changes in plans and multitasking. Anyway, another friend messaged tonight that the friend that brought the uninvited girlfriend had been arguing with her before the dinner say she was in front of my house. I went out dressed and ready to chill with some people, and she drove me to the liquor store. When we got there, I asked what beer she wanted me to get, and she told me to get Budweiser. I hid my disappointment as well as I could, but it was her party, so I went in and bought 2 cases of 24. I got back in the car and said, "Let's party," and she was eerily quiet. I noticed that she wasn't driving towards her neighborhood, but rather back towards mine. I thought she had moved or something, but didn't want to press the issue. When she turned down my street, I finally figured it out. She was being purposefully vague about the invitation because she wanted me to get the beer, but she wanted a way out when she told me I wasn't actually invited in the first place. She stopped in front of my house, leaned over, kissed me on the cheek and said thanks, in her best voice. I hit her hand her and asked when she was going to tell me I wasn't invited. She feigned surprise and said that she never intended to invite me in the first place. I sat in silence for a long, awkward minute, picked up the beer and walked towards my front door. She got out of her car and frantically tried to re-invite me to the party, but I told her that what she did was the most humiliating thing that ever happened to me. I opened my front door, slammed it a bit too hard and went back to my room. Now I'm sitting here drinking absolutely unpalatable piss water, and I have text messages from all her friends the A-hole for leaving my wife at a party / going away solo when she was making me late. My 28 wife, 27, graduated medical school in 2021. They had a graduation party since everyone was vaccinated, but it was only pretty small due to a recent outbreak there. You could only bring one guest and you had to socially distance again. A medical school decided to invite the pandemic graduates to this year's graduation event. They planned this all-out party last minute, only giving 3 weeks notice that it was happening. But my wife was very excited about it. She gets paid crumbs and works long hours as a resident, so I get why she wanted to relax and have fun. The issue is that I had a huge work trip the next day that had been planned for months. I don't travel a lot for work, so they went all out to make this comfortable, and I had a lot riding on it. If I didn't do well, I could probably be fired, but if I did, there were 2 open positions I could be promoted to. My wife wanted to come with me, so my company comped a flight, and we were going to make a vacation out of it. After my presentations, we were flying out the night of the party to ensure I made it on time for the meetings the next day. I told my wife we shouldn't go to the redo event since we had to fly out and it would be very tight. She insisted we go since the party started at 3 p.m. and our flight left at 9, but the gala was 1.5 hours away from the airport. We made a plan to leave at 5:30, pack everything in our car beforehand so we'd go straight to the airport. But by 5:30 she just started saying goodbye. I told her we needed to leave ASAP, but she said no, we don't have to be 2 hours early for our flight, etc. Around 6 p.m. this guy from med school who had a crush on her and asked her out multiple times grabbed her hand and pulled her to another table. I went up to them and told her he needed to back off. He said I needed to treat her better and let her enjoy herself. I looked at my wife, but she ignored me. At that point, I decided I wasn't going to try and convince her to stick her to her word anymore. I told her I was leaving for the airport and took our car. There was a ton of traffic and security was a mess, so I only had a few minutes to spare before getting on the plane. She texted me horrible things. I never responded or engaged, but she kept telling me how I was horrible and don't understand what it's like to have COVID ruin a huge moment for you. I disagree. She still had a graduation party. It's not my fault. She didn't get to dance. I don't see what the huge deal is. And conversely, I think she didn't understand that this would cost me my job. If I missed the flight, and since I make up around 70% of our income in the HCOL area, we would be essentially homeless. We've been on tense terms since this happened in June. She brings it up a lot and is recommending therapy so I can learn how to behave in a marriage. But I don't think we need it since she's the one who caused this whole problem in the first place and should take accountability for that. But am I way off here? Am I the a-hole? Oh my goodness. Also, that one was formatted terribly. So, like, oh my god, that hurt my eyes reading that. Jeez. No, not the a-hole at all. That's insane that a grown woman is prioritizing partying over her husband's career and a promise that she made. I get it. I get that your original graduation wasn't as fun as you wanted it to be, and that's not your fault, but get over it. You have to just get over it. It sucks, but it happened to a lot of people too. You really do just need to move on. You had a couple hours to have fun, but at the end of the day you said that you'd leave at a certain time and you should have. Especially because there was a lot riding on that trip. also letting the other guy kind of undermine, and like, I don't care if you're having a little like marital spat or whatever, if somebody else sort of disrespects your partner or questions your relationship in a way, I guess you should always be on their side and stick up for them, even if you are mad at them in the moment, and then you should discuss it afterwards privately if you like disagreed with what they were doing or whatever, but you shouldn't let someone disrespect them that way. In my opinion, at least, if it was something like he was being a proper arsehole and someone stuck up for it, then that's a different issue, but he had done nothing wrong, you know, it was blatantly just disrespect because he liked his wife. He liked that guy's wife. Okay. This next one is by a deleted account again, and it stayed all damn in the household for going to my younger brother's birthday party whilst really drunk. So me, 18 male, and my friends were drinking a lot yesterday morning, and we got really drunk. By the way, I know day drinking seems weird, but for the past few months, me and my friends have gotten drunk nearly every morning. Since we're all 18 now and it's legal, so it's more of a tradition than anything concerning. I forgot it was my brother's 2-male birthday. If I had remembered it was his birthday, then I wouldn't have drunk this morning, but I didn't, so I had to go there at about 1 PM while still really drunk. My mum asked me if I had been drinking, and I said no, but I think she knew anyway and was upset with me. She said that it was completely inappropriate, but I didn't really do anything at the party that would be classed as rude or offensive. At the most, I only had slurred speech, but I stayed out of everybody's way anyway. I gave the present to my mum, I went home, and that was it. But this morning my mum left me a voicemail saying I'm not allowed to speak to my family until I get things sorted out. She said it was really inappropriate of me to show up there, and especially in front of my uncle. I'll be honest, I didn't even notice my uncle was there, but he is a recovering alcoholic, so I guess that would have been bad for him. But I didn't see him, and how was I supposed to know he was coming? Either way, I feel really bad that I've upset my mum. I tried contacting her to get it sorted, but she hasn't responded, so I might be ill. Yes. Your mum is right, it's completely inappropriate to be drunk at a 2-year-old's birthday party, a family-friendly birthday party that's gonna have kids running around. You shouldn't be drunk at all. It doesn't matter if you didn't do anything bad. It's inappropriate, it's awkward, it makes everyone uncomfortable, and the kids are kind of like, what is going on? The kids don't really understand it, and then they'll ask questions, and it's not appropriate, it's not the time nor the place. And if you were so drunk that you didn't even know who was there, then you can see how that is a problem, right? That's not just even like a little bit buzzed, you were drunk. And also, I'm sorry to be the one to break it to you, I'm sorry to do that, but drinking every morning for months isn't a tradition. That is in no way a tradition. How is that a tradition? That is just being an alcoholic or a borderline alcoholic. Like, honestly, like, I think you need a bit of help. I think that you may have a problem that you cannot see yourself in